So this happened maybe 2 years ago. I was working as the night manager of a local grocery store. It had been one crazy day of business. It was probably around 10 p.m. and the store was finally slowing down, so I finally had a chance to go to the restroom. Let me give you the layout of the store. When you come into the store, you come into the front entrance and then turn to the left and walk into the store. The produce department is the first one you see, and if you go to the right, you'll go down a hallway to the break room and the restrooms. So I walked into the far stall in the restroom and do my business. I then heard a voice of a child say, "Hello?" I wasn't really paying attention, so I thought he was talking to someone else. Then he said hello one more time. This time, I figured he was talking to me. So I left the stall. The boy was dressed up really nice. He was maybe 5 to 7 years old. Had on blue jeans, a dress shirt, and a tie and a blue vest. Hair was well groomed. He said hello again. I said hello. It was really odd. I didn't hear the door open or shut. The door to the men's room shut hard and always slammed shut. The boy then asked me how to turn the water on in the sink, and I showed him that all you had to do was put your hands under the nozzle and it turned on automatically. I asked him if he had a parent waiting, and he said his mom was. I said, "Okay, be safe," and I put a stepping stool up for him so he could use the sink. I went back to work. I then literally passed one of my workers outside the restroom. He said he would be out shortly. I went back to work, didn't think much of anything. A few minutes later, he joined me. I asked him if he saw the little boy washing his hands, and he said, "What little boy?" I thought he was joking, so I told him about the little boy. He said there was no one in the restroom. So I went looking for the kid. I went back to the restroom, but figured he wouldn't be there. I went through the entire store looking for him. I had 2 people working in the front of the produce department just outside of the hallway. I asked them if they saw the boy, and they both said no. The boy would have had to walk right by them. I walked the entire store looking for him and his mom. Saw no one. I asked everyone who was working, and no one saw them. I then went to loss prevention and had the guy go over the footage in the store. Saw me go into the restroom, but saw no little boy or mother. Saw me come out, and then my worker come out. We looked at all the footage on all the cameras, and the little boy and his mom were never seen. My mother and I were at a thrift store a couple months ago. We found a really cute stuffed rabbit that I wanted. It was really soft, and I'd bought a stuffed animal from that brand before. My mom got it for me. Immediately, I got a kind of weird vibe from it for many reasons. Not bad, just weird. I noted how it was in almost brand new condition, but it had clearly been owned before. The whiskers were kind of clumped together. I couldn't fathom why someone would donate it. I still sleep with stuffed animals because it's comfortable. I decided to sleep with it that night because, again, it was very soft. Now, it's important to note that I have relatively normal sleeping patterns. I'm honestly a heavy sleeper a lot of the time, and it takes a lot to wake me up in the middle of the night. That being said, I woke up at least a dozen times, and every single time without fail, the stuffed animal that should have been caged in my arms was sitting up in bed with me, staring at me. I immediately told myself it was nothing. I was just tired. It was still creepy. Due to paranoia because of my OCD, I decided to move the animal from my bedroom to the living room for when I fall asleep watching TV on the couch. At some point in the afternoon yesterday, I took a nap on the couch with a stuffed animal and then got up later and went about my life. I was in and out of my bedroom and the living room, and the rabbit had not moved once. I reached for my main stuffed animal so I could take a nap in my bed. Then I noticed the rabbit. I can guarantee with 100% certainty I never moved the animal from the couch. I hadn't even touched it since my nap earlier. I haven't been able to sleep since, even if I had my mom move it back to the living room. It's 7 a.m. and I'm going to try to take a nap now, but I don't think I can ever sleep again. I grew up in this big old house. The back part was built back in 1870. That's where my bedroom was when I was a kid. Now, I never really believed in ghosts or anything like that, but when I was about 10, that all changed. My parents were off and out. We'd have a babysitter over to keep an eye on me. But this one night, I was alone. The house was huge, like 7,500 square feet. So you can imagine how eerie it could get when you're all by yourself. Nothing really happened all evening until I hit the sack. And then, while I'm lying there, I get woken up by the sound of the TV blaring from the front of the house. My room was all the way in the back, and that TV was on full blast, like someone was trying to wake me up on purpose. I dashed downstairs to turn it off. Maybe I accidentally set a timer or something. However, as I'm heading back to my room, bam, it's on again, full volume. That's when the fear started to creep in. I switched it off again, but this time I bolted back to my room. I spent the rest of the night hiding under my blankets, trying to shake off the creepiness. Eventually, I dozed off, but not for long. I'm jolted awake at exactly 3:15 a.m. by this strange sensation. It's like a mix of warmth and coldness, and I swear, it feels like someone's staring right through me. I glanced at my clock, and that's when I realized the significance of the time. But before I could wrap my head around it, I saw her, standing right across from me in the room. A girl. She's not doing anything harmful, but man, she's spooky. Yet, strangely comforting, like she's there for me, to reassure me that everything's okay. Years later, my dad uncovers this old chest hidden behind a wall in the original part of the house during renovations. Inside, there are photos of the house and some family members, but there's this one photo of 3 family members who lived in our house back in 1870. And guess what? I nearly passed out when I spotted the girl from my room in the picture. She passed away when she was 10, same age as me back then. Ever since that day, I've been a believer. She was like my guardian angel, watching over me. Crazy, huh?